Hi students, welcome to the part A, part 8. This is the enabling success of and change management. Now students, this section we have already covered in the leadership area where we had talent management and also change management. But in this case, we will effectively go with some areas. For example, students, one thing that we have to understand is students, the new types of organizations. Now, if you observe this section, may come for a PowerPoint presentation or something like that. And then students, if I'm not mistaken, we have something called the business process re-engineering, which is one more area to consider. Business process re-engineering or redesign, we generally say. Again, it's not so complicated on theory point of view, students, because everything relates to change management. And then students, the project management is also one more area that is be not generally a direct area. It will be generally an application only. And the change management, which was already completed in the previous videos as well. Now, students, types of organization. Now, you have to understand the Mintzberg organization structure. Now, as per Mintzberg, he has classified the organization into simple structure, which you can just have an idea, that is directly owner and the staff. Now, we are not having a simple structure, students. Then we have something called machine bureaucracy. This is like factory, students. People need to work according to systems and process. And then you have something called the professional bureaucracy. Again, this is similar to machine bureaucracy, but still employees are not given proper guidance because they are educated. They know what they are going to do. Now, I can say since Nctech is a tech-based organization, we can say it should be professional bureaucracy structure at the moment. And the other one is adhocracy organization, students. This is example like cinema. Now, music, everything, students. Cinema is a very big organization. Example, sometimes the music director also needs to give suggestion, actors needs to give suggestion, supporting artists needs to give suggestion. So it's very much combined. Now, students, just for your understanding, this is the Mintzberg structure. Strategic apex is our founders. Operating core, we don't know who are the staff. Middle line, we know, students. Our directors are there. Technostructure, no idea. The reason is, students, one of our directors are the founders. So they are technostructure. And support staff is, students, finance department, payroll, all these support staffs are there. So that is one more thing. And then students, another organization structure we have to know, students, this boundaryless concept, students, boundaryless concept. Now, students, if you observe this boundaryless concept means, students, now technology. Now, if you observe, students, technology is becoming very much uh, popular and everything is becoming boundaryless. Example, students, if you observe within organization. Now if you see earlier, we have to take approval. Now, within organization, remote, we can work from home. Correct, no, students? No boundaries anymore. And then everything is email. Correct, no, students? We send an email, we get a response. And then students, within our network, now you see Zomato, and if you see Swiggy, within the network, they are not going to the restaurant, but they have networked it without any boundary. And anything like www dot. Now, all these are boundaryless organization. And if you see, our cloud computing will become a great success for a boundaryless organization, even for other organizations. And then, students, we have the other one, the Hello structure. That is where you outsource non-value adding activities like cleaning service, everything is Hello structure. Housekeeping, if you outsource, it's Hello structure. Then we have something called modular structure where you don't outsource the key. Sometimes you outsource the production activities also. Example, Apple outsourcing the manufacturing process to China, Apple to China manufacturing process. And then students, after that, the other one, students, after Hello, Modula, and the other one, if I'm not mistaken, is called the virtual structure, where everything is completely automated now. Virtual structure, students, BPO, everything is purely a brand only, completely outsourced. Now, if you see, Google in future will become purely virtual organization, purely outsourced. And then students, you have to go through that video on Harmon's process metrics because it is maybe asked, not much a PPT can come. We don't know the exhibit, but just for safety, because it was already mentioned the application is more important than the understanding of, or the generally the application is more important than the memorized knowledge. So keep that in mind, students. Now, business process re-engineering. This is one more thing, that is change management has a direct impact. That is, you or the company may change operating process. Now, students, it is direct. So, example, now, if we are going from infrastructure as a service to software as a service, in that case we have to update our processing, which is very much important. And then, students, project management. Now you have to understand the structures, the initiation. When there's a project, there is a initiation, and then, students, there is something called a planning, then there is something called an execution, right? And then, students, there is something called control, and then we have something called the completion. So if you observe in this case, these are the project management structures we have to remember: initiation, planning, execution, control, and completion. Initiation, again, you can use this as a structure for your answer only, but don't memorize it. Everything depends on the exhibit and some technical knowledge like business case. Now, business case is a document that is needed before you go for a project. You have to tell the risk and reward of the projects, that is important. And then, students, we have something called PID, that is project initiation document. So you can just remember these things for the documents in case if they ask, students. And then, students, they have something called PPR, that is project post project review, that is like a post completion audit we have. And then, students, we have something called PIR, that is post implementation review. In every stages we have to go for a implementation review. So, students, this is the project management and this is the change management. And change management, as I told you, the Levin's model, you can just remember, students. I'll just write down Levin's model is there, and then talent management is there. Because these areas you have to have an idea, because whatever you know, you have to make sure you blend it to the exhibit. That's the understanding here. So this is the effective structuralization of this area, students. So don't spend too much time now thinking on all these things. Just make sure your mind is free and ready for the exam. Thank you, students.